love, gotta know that dirt. Yeah. Yo, if I were podcasting, it would be insane. Knowledge flowing like the sweetest rain. Professor Bear on the mic, spreading wisdom wide. Of his thoughts, that's my pride, I can't hide.
With the voices in your ear, changing the game.
If I rule podcasting, every thought we'd ignite. In a world of chatter, we'll spark in the fight. With Professor Bear, we're climbing to new heights. A Bear's Thoughts podcast, shining bright in the night. Topics from the heart, never sounding the same. Got laughs and debates, never dull or bland. From culture to tech, take you by the hand. Join the ride with us, feel the vibe expand. With every episode, we shine that
beginnings on the cusp. Not too old to adjust. Old dog, new tricks. Remember, I was just a pup. Something dirty in my cup. Clean soul.
So tune in, don't miss what we got to share. If I rule podcasting, I spread the love everywhere.
Welcome, and thank you for joining me today. I am Professor Bear, and this is a Bear's Thought. And guys, girls, the thought on my mind today is good wrestling. I have been having such a wonderful time getting to talk to different podcasters and giving them the different feel from them giving interviews to them being guests. I've had so many great people on, but this particular guest, I have to give thanks to a friend because she told me I needed to have this young man on. And what's special about him, he is only 14 years old. And he have had some amazing guests that I have to even admit made me jealous. But another side of it too is I love that we have a lot of young people that are loving wrestling, putting their 2 cents in, and makes the business, it's in great hands. So let me introduce my guest, Saber. Saber, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. That was a great intro. Thank you so much. How are you doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. Well, first things first, guys, girls, you see the QR code. If you follow any of my stuff this month, you know that QR code will take you to my guest page. And this is his YouTube page. And I really, really encourage y'all to go and check it out. He has some amazing interviews. The one that sticks out right at the top of my head, he's talking to Maven. Yes, WWE's own Maven. And that was an amazing interview. But with that being said, my first question to all of my guests is, how did you get into wrestling?
Well, firstly, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But the way I got into wrestling, my dad, huge WWE fan, all the way since it was WWE, WWF, and he introduced it to me a few times, and I never really got into it, but there was one time where it really just clicked, and it's an addiction now. I can't stop.
So, with that being said, what made you go from just being a wrestling fan to deciding you're going to start your own podcast?
Well, like you said, the first guest I had was Maven Huffman. I loved his YouTube channel, and I thought, I could do that too. I also had another YouTube channel before reviewing horror movies, and I just wanted to get back into that.
That is cool. So, with Maven, how did you connect with him and get him to do your podcast?
It honestly just started with a crazy thought. Watching one of his videos, looking Maven Huffman email online, sending an email, and then his producer, Zach, great guy by the way, messaged me back saying that Maven would love to, and that's how it started.
That's cool. That's very cool. I am jealous because he won't do my podcast. I'm joking, but I did reach out and just hadn't heard. Understand the man's busy. But if you just happen to hear this, Maven, please, please, please come do my podcast.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not as good as the young man beside me, but I know a little bit.
Oh, I'm sure Maven would have a great time on this podcast.
So, what was your earliest memory of watching wrestling?
This is one thing I will never forget. It was the first time my dad tried to get me into wrestling. The Undertaker versus Mankind Hell in the Cell. First match I ever watched.
It is so funny that that's your first one because of all the great spots and
Oh,
it's just crazy on everything they did.
I could watch that match at any time and it's always just as good.
Yes. Funny enough, I watched that live, and my ex-wife, when we were dating, she was at my house watching it with me. And she's like, "Oh my God, there's a tooth in his nose." Like, "Oh no, there ain't no tooth." Then I was like, "Wait a minute. Oh my God, it is."
The insane stuff he would do, it blows my mind every time.
So, who's your favorite wrestler?
For the longest time, I've said Cody Rhodes, but as I watched it more, I really have so much. Sami Zayn, Bret Hart, Cody Rhodes as well, but although CM Punk too, there are so many good ones these days. Darby Allin, Rhea Ripley.
With you saying Sammy, and Sammy gets a shot at the WWE title, what do you think is going to happen in that match?
I really just hope Sammy wins the title. I was there in the building when he won the four-way, and an electric crowd since he's from Montreal. And I know every single person in that building, every single person in the building at the Rumble wants Sammy to win.
Do you think, and I'm going to test your knowledge a little bit. Do
Let's
you
see.
think Sammy, if he never wins a world title, do you think his career still is he had a great career?
I think Sami Zayn has had a great career. And if he doesn't win that world title, if he never wins a world title, will it be a great career? Yes. But I think the world title will just take it to another shot.
Definitely. And since I brought up careers, what do you think about this AJ Styles versus Gunther match for AJ's career?
I'm worried about that. Shinsuke Nakamura, there's been a lot of rumors. He came out and said that AJ Styles told him personally he is retiring. I think AJ deserves more than that. He should deserve a retirement tour as well.
Well, and it's funny we're talking about that. I talked to one of my co-hosts, and before we predicted on our show who was going to win, and I told him I think AJ is done, and I think it's ironic and appropriate that he goes out at the Royal Rumble, considering that's where he started his career.
Mm-hmm.
Would you think that AJ career is one that you would put him on the Mount Rushmore of wrestlers?
Without a doubt. You know, he's done so much in all of wrestling, and sometimes I feel he doesn't get all the credit he deserves, but without a doubt, definitely put him on there.
So, who, I have to know this one too. Who is your dad's favorite wrestler?
I'm gonna have to go with Bret Hart, but for the people in it today, probably all the same ones I said: Sammy, Punk, Darby, Rhea Ripley, Cody. But Bret is the all-time.
I noticed that you mentioned Darby, so I would take it that you watch AEW also.
I'd like to watch it more than I do, but I'm involved a bit.
What so with you doing this at a short amount of time, and I hear so much maturity that I know some people being close to my age don't have about the business. What is the thing that you like to do when you are having a guest? How do you prepare yourself to have an interview with someone?
I always try and go through every single one of their previous interviews to get the good questions. I can tell you've done this as well. But once I get there, before I go on, just like you did too, and I appreciate it, I always like talking to them firstly just to see how they're doing. And I know this wasn't your question. However, after every one of my interviews, I always try and go back to see one thing I can learn to make the next one better.
I love that philosophy because you are trying to learn every time you do one, and that is just a very great mature way of doing things. Honestly, I can't say I do the same because I hate the sound of my voice. When I watch them back, it just kills me.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I feel the same, especially when you just edit it for hours and then you just want to chill for a bit too.
Yeah. So, you said I'm assuming you and your dad went to WWE, the SmackDown.
Yes.
And from watching it again, the crowd looked like red hot for everything. Yeah. What was your thoughts about the 4-way match?
It was so good, Whoop That Trick, Damian Priest, Randy Orton, and Sami Zayn. All in their own ways are absolutely amazing. Couldn't have been a better match. There was a few botches. However, it was really amazing. The crowd reactions, like you said, really brought it to life too.
And you talked about the botches. How do you, and this is going to be kind of a weird question, but when you watch wrestling, what is your main focus on when you watch a match?
That's a really good question. I got to think about this.
And let me help you out a little bit too. So, like when I watch a match, generally, and it depends on who's wrestling. Sometimes I don't get into the storyline. I want to see how they actually wrestle, or I look at certain things like if it's a newer wrestler, I look how well they are wrestling. If they have to get direction from the other wrestlers, or if they make a botch, how do they correct it? What do they do? And that's the type of thing I'm wondering.
Well, that definitely helps a lot. I really like the one that you said. Seeing how they fix the botches. That's definitely one of the things I look for because it just shows how well they are in the ring. And, it's not a part of the actual movement, but I always love seeing the wrestlers sell to the crowd.
And and then there's some that have that natural ability where they have you. They could do anything and you're so invested in it
Oh,
that
yeah.
you're like, oh God.
Well, Randy Orton the other day naturally has that.
Probably the funniest thing for me was SmackDown, where Randy came behind Trick and he was
Oh,
dancing.
yeah.
That popped me more than him hitting the RKO.
Oh, 100%. And then when he did the RKO to Sammy, that took me by surprise. But to Trick, I loved that segment.
What do you think about with Cody losing the titles recently?
In the moment, I was devastated, honestly, and in some ways, I still wish he was champ. But I'm so excited to see what WWE can do with the storyline, especially because now it means Sammy has the shot at it.
If they told you, okay, you have only you have one choice of watching wrestling, would it be Raw or SmackDown, and why?
If I couldn't make my own draft, because then I just move all my favorites to one of them. If I couldn't do that, I think I would have to go Monday Night Raw. I mean, oh wait, no, Sammy moved from there. Well, CM Punk is there, LA Knight, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky. So I think I'd have to go Monday night.
What how do you think the title run has been going for CM Punk so far?
I thought it's been great. I mean, the match against Finn Balor was amazing. Just shows how great both of them are, but especially Punk. And I would be more. Yeah, I'd rather Punk not be champion than be a temporary champion. So I'm very happy he's a full-time champ.
With that being said, since you're a podcaster and you had the opportunity, you only can pick one, who would be the person you get to interview and why?
So I really had to think about this one. There's so many great people.
Right.
I really think my dream guest on my show, just like so many others, is Bret the Hitman Hart. The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
That is cool. So how do you decide on who you are going to have as a guest?
A lot of the ones I've been doing recently have been local guys from Montreal, and just going to a lot of the shows and, seeing all their in-ring ability, I instantly want to interview them. So, like you said, how do I choose them? Usually going to the shows, seeing some of the best, and it's so hard to choose, so that's why I just do basically everyone at the show over a long period of time.
So with that being said, do you like indie wrestling
Oh,
as much as you like
100%.
WWE wrestling, or is it pretty much the same to you?
I'd say I love them both equally. However, I love them for very different reasons. I love indie wrestling. IWS is the one that I go to, International Wrestling Syndicate. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, Speedball Mike Bailey, they all went there. Great place. And now a bunch of up-and-comers. And they just bring something else that you really cannot find anywhere else. And that's why I love the indie wrestling, because seeing one good indie promotion, you want to see a ton of others. And being a fan of indie wrestling, you also want to start getting into WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, TNA, all the big guys.
And I find it very interesting that you know so much about indie wrestling too, because I know a lot of people generally, when they see the majors, they never get a chance to learn about the indie wrestling. Is that, and I'm going to assume that your dad is just a big, big wrestling fan too. And and y'all go to different wrestlings and just have that great bond and have fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think indie wrestling, not enough people go to it is what I'm trying to say. And I think they're missing out, because indie wrestling, like I said, brings something that you cannot find anywhere else. And watching it online is great, but being right there in person, front row, really cannot find that anywhere else in the world.
I, I agree with you 1,000%. The feeling is so different from WWE or AEW or any other bigger promotion, because you feel invested, because the atmosphere, I like to say it's almost like going to a family reunion. You meet so many people and you see them so much at the shows. It's like, hey, you wasn't at the show last time. Are you okay? And it's that type of vibe. I think it's a real great family atmosphere too.
Yeah, absolutely. And just going, all the time now, I've already started, building connections. This guy in the audience loves indie wrestling too. That's awesome.
Yeah. So with that too, and you were saying that uh, you get a lot of interviews with indie guys and stuff. Do you feel like you are helping to continue that legacy of wrestling, being a podcaster?
Oh, I'd really love to think so. You know, 'Cause they're so great, and any way I can, I just love to help them, because they're helping me so much as well. So I'd really love to think that.
Well, and you should. I mean, it took me a while to figure it out, and it actually took a few wrestlers to make me understand that we are something big in their eyes too, and we're doing so much to help promote the brand, to give wrestlers an opportunity to talk about themselves where they may not, and your fan base, maybe they'll see a wrestler and like, oh, I have to follow him or find out more. What do you think about other? Well, no, let me back it up. What? How do you feel about the ring announcers, the referees, the commentators? Do you feel like they are as much as part of the show as wrestlers?
100%. Because they're the ones that make the show too. Going to the shows in person, you can't find that anywhere else in the world. But there is one benefit of watching it on TV, and it's the commentary team. It just really, I don't know how to say it, but pops everything out. But the ring announcers saying who's coming in, that's always a really fun part. Gets you excited for who's coming out, as well as the music. because the music shows off who they are before they even come out to the ring.
I have to tell you that you are very wise for your age. I am very impressed with
Thank you.
your knowledge. It seems like you're good about doing checks on people. You follow careers. And again, they're at your age, I couldn't imagine a lot of people, even my age, they call me professor because of all the knowledge I have. But I am so glad to see what you're doing and you're so into it. And it's an amazing thing. It keeps wrestling alive for me because I know there's other people that are going to take the ball and run with it. So I
really appreciate that.
definitely want to give you your flowers for that.
Thank you so much. Can't thank you enough, honestly.
So, what is your goal with your podcast?
Honestly, just talk to as many wrestlers as I can, try and get my foot in the door, because the goal long term, not just in podcasting, is to become a wrestler. And a large part of this podcast is just talking about wrestling because of how much I love it.
So, have you ever thought about you and your dad doing some podcasting?
I think that's a great idea. He's in the other room, but I'm going to pitch that to him. I'd love to see that show.
And I think what I think you all would benefit from that to give the audience your take, the newer take, and your father's experience and his way he look at it. I think that would be such a great concept. I actually had a father and son team on before, and his son, I want to say, was 11 or 12. I can't remember. The podcast name was, I think it was Father and Son Podcast. I believe that's what's the name of it. But the main reason why I brought that point up is because I love that kids are just more excited and learning how to take advantage and show their passion of what they love and take it seriously, because doing podcasts is a lot of hard work. And you, again, watching some of your stuff is just amazing. It makes me jealous and want to pick up my game on some things that I see that I could do better at. And that says so much, again, about your maturity, how serious you take this, and how much you love the sport of wrestling.
Thank you so much. But that idea is gold. I'm definitely gonna pitch that after. I think I got the next idea though.
That's cool. So 2026, who would you like to see besides Sammy win the World WWE title?
Is this both world titles or the Undisputed Championship?
We can do both.
Oh. Wow, that's a really hard question, but a really good one. You know, CM Punk, the champion of the world right now, the heavyweight champion of the world. I would love to see... Sorry, this is a good but very hard question.
Take your time.
I would absolutely love to see Obafemi as one of the world champions. I think we can see that coming soon.
I definitely agree with you. If WWE has any if they're looking for the future to put him in that title mix and let him win would be such an amazing thing.
Yeah, well, the future, he definitely one of them. And yes, they are all very talented, but I really do not want anyone from the Vision like Braun Breaker. This guy does not understand, but Braun Breaker, anybody in the Vision, I really don't want them to be world champions.
I honestly think Braun is gonna take that title.
Oh yeah, he definitely is. I don't want to see it though.
And then I think Seth will come back and they will feud over it.
Oh yeah, that would be a great WrestleMania match.
So what about the WWE title?
Right now, it's Drew McIntyre, then it's Sammy, but after that, it's got to be Sammy, but after that, my mind is immediately saying Oba again, but we already said him. I don't know who else to do. I think Javon Evans could be one day, but not right away. Trick Williams one day, but not right away. At this point, get back to me on this one because I can't choose yet. I don't know who I want, but I know I don't want it to be anybody from the Vision.
What do you feel about what they're doing with the Judgment Day?
I mean, the Judgment Day is awesome right now. I know we have to have a Royal Rumble match between Stephanie Vaquer and Raquel Rodriguez. I know it's gonna happen one day, but Liv Morgan versus Roxanne Perez is bound for the future. My favorite member of the entire Judgment Day is Dirty Dominic Mysterio. You gotta love Dom, honestly.
Dom is one of those people that you dislike so much you start liking. He just grows on you.
He really does. He's so talented too. And, the whole storyline with his dad, then Rhea Ripley, and now just being the chicken tender loving goofball that he is.
Yes, he is. So, in AEW, who would you like to see win the title over there?
Ooh. I know he's hated. I hate him too, but at the same time, I love MJF, the champion right now. But like I said, probably my favorite in AEW, I would love to see Darby Allin going after that title. There's so many other people. Some of them have titles, though, but, I'd love to see Samoa Joe. John Moxley, I'd love to see him. Ooh, I gotta say him. Speedball Mike Bailey, one of my favorite guys in AEW.
I have to say, I knew of Speedball's ability, but when I watched matches, I wasn't necessarily impressed. The Continental Classic made me change my whole thought and respect Speedball more than I ever have.
Oh yeah.
Him and Kevin Knight, they did such a phenomenal job. And I give AEW credit for letting them shine. Now I'm like a big Speedball guy myself. I'm like, okay, I want to see some more Speedball.
Yeah, well, Tony Khan, he's a great booker. Sorry, WWE, I had to be honest. You guys do some great things too, but Tony Khan, always on top.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. And have you noticed how many ex-AEW people are over in WWE and are thriving?
Oh, yeah. The switch is such a big switch because it's such a different environment in some ways, but so similar in other ways. WWE guys going to AEW, immediately some of the top stars, and same with AEW stars going to WWE. Jade Cargill, for example, the women's world champion, WWE, I believe, and then AEW, back to WWE, top of the game right now.
I always said that when you have competition, it makes for a better show. When you have monopolized this game, then you become complacent, and that's why I love that AEW is here to make WWE work harder, and on top of that, I love the fact that WWE are working with other promotions and
Yes.
recognize that there are other promotions besides them. I
I
think
love the
that
way you said that. But yeah, I wasn't saying before that WWE is bad, not at all. However, some of the storylines have been great, but I can't think of one that immediately comes to my mind of a bad AEW storyline, is the way I'll say it.
I can understand that. Uh, who is your favorite tag team? And this could be any promotion, anywhere, even independent.
Got Jet Speed. Well, I guess now they're a trio, but Jet Speed, the Hardys, the Usos, Rio, great tag team there. Trying to think of the indies. They were Fresh Air, and now, 3 people in it. Fresh Air Don't Care at IWS. They're very talented. I gotta say this one of my favorite tag teams in the world, the Sexy Beasts, the Animal Bob Anger and Sexy Eddie. I've had Sexy Eddie on the show. They're one of my favorite tag teams by far.
That is so cool.
Oh,
What?
and TDT. I have to name them.
So, what do you have coming up in the future?
Continue, wrestling, watching a lot of wrestling, continue interviewing. I got some really cool names coming up. I don't want to spoil them. I'm sure you've got some great names coming too, which you don't want to spoil as well. But yeah, just do what I'm doing. Hopefully get a little bit bigger to get more interviews. But yeah.
Well, let me say once again, I am very appreciative that you came on. You are wise beyond your years. You are doing some great work, and I thank you. I'm a big believer in giving people flowers and acknowledging the work they do, because a lot of people never get to hear that before they pass. So I'm a big believer in giving people that. I I think you are doing an amazing job. I'm looking to see you continue growing. I'm definitely following you now. And anytime you want to come on my show, all you have to do is reach out and we will make it happen.
I really appreciate it. Maybe we could see you on my show, who knows?
I'll, I'll
But
be
yeah, I
glad.
really appreciate that. Your questions have been so good so far.
I
And
appreciate it.
thank you so much.
It's no problem. Again, if you want me on your show, I'll be more than proud to be on there.
Oh yeah. Let's make it happen.
Yes, sir. Guys, girls, thank you so much for watching today's episode. Again, please make sure you go and check out Saban Podcast. It is, again, I truly enjoy his work. And if you didn't learn like I've learned how wise and beyond his years of wrestling knowledge that he has. The only thing I can say is what's wrong with you. So before I go, I always say this, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Please, please, please go and support your local wrestling. You will get an experience like no other. And you never know who you see starting out, who will make it to the big time and maybe be a world champion. You never know. But it's a whole different feel. That not saying that they're better or worse than WWE. What I'm saying is it's different and it's so enjoyable. So definitely do that, please.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm feel the vibe is getting close to the end of the interview, but before we end that, I just want to say I completely agree with you. I mean, I saw Speedball Mike Bailey on the Indies before he got to AEW, and immediately you could tell he was going places, and he's still going places even though he's at AEW.
Oh yeah, sky's the limits for him.
Oh yeah.
Guys, girls, thank you so much again for joining us around the campfire for another great story. And again, that's why I'm doing this appreciation month, so you can understand what hard work that us podcasters put in for the sport we love. And please continue supporting your favorite podcasters. They appreciate it. I know they do because I appreciate you. So with that being said, I'm Professor Bear. This has been a Bear's Thought, and we will see you around the campfire very, very soon. Y'all take care.
Oh yeah.